Hi, it's Teraysa Guinasso, and I am here to answer your questions about coaching and about anything that might be a challenge or an obstacle for you right now. So I'm here. I'm going to be live for a little while, and I'm looking forward to meeting you and hearing your questions. If you want your question to be private, you can post it in my private mailbox on Facebook. I have my computer here in front of me, and that way I can check my mailbox to see if there are any questions that come in that way. So let's see, I'm going to try to find a way to set this up so that I can have my hands. Hey Dobby, glad you're here. Getting this set up. So Dobby, it's nice to meet you, and if you have any questions you want to ask about coaching, feel free. If you want to just type it in, I can see it, or if you want to ask a private question about something that you don't necessarily want everyone to know it came from you, you can put it in my private mailbox, and I can check that online right here, and then speak to that in a general way. So I do transformational life coaching. I use the law of attraction as a base for most of this coaching, but I also have experience in neuro-linguistic programming. Some of you might have heard of NLP. It's what Tony Robbins uses a lot, very effectively with his people. And I am excited to have had a really good training with someone named Dr. Matt James. He is from Hawaii, and he grew up with his father being one of the first NLP practitioners, and knew Tony Robbins as a kid and did his fire walk when he was really young. And so it was just a real honor to learn from him and to with the Hawaiian kahuna tradition and with Ho'oponopono. If you haven't heard of Ho'oponopono, it's a forgiveness practice, and there's 4 parts to it, and a lot of people really simplify it. They talk about it being just getting into a meditative state and getting quiet and thinking of the person that you want to forgive, and imagine they're sitting with you, and you just say, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you." And that's a beautiful practice in and of itself, but I feel that there is a bit more to it, and that it can be a longer, a little more sacred practice that I'd be happy to lead you through if you'd ever like to try it. And it is a practice that I learned from several different people, all of which learned it from kahunas in Hawaii, and they take it a bit deeper, and I feel that it's a main practice really has to connect with that soul on a soul-to-soul level, so that we can really disconnect from whatever it is that's holding us. And you may be hearing a little sound on my phone. Someone's calling in. I'm going to just reject this call. So forgive me. Kind of funny. I'm talking about forgiveness. But anyhow, the Ho'oponopono practice is just a really, really beautiful practice to really allow us to disconnect from the things that are holding us back, and to reconnect with someone on a soul-to-soul level, so that we can really have better relationships. And you know, aren't relationships like the thing? It's whether we're in a relationship with ourselves or in a relationship with someone else, there's always something that can be worked on and can be made a little better. So I was telling people earlier, if you want to submit a private question that you'd like me to speak to, just go ahead and send me a private message. I've got Facebook open right next to me on my computer, as well as having my phone broadcasting live, so that I can look at that and then I can speak to that generally so that it's still confidential. And so, Jessica, I see that you're here. Thanks for being here. Everyone, thanks. I really appreciate you tuning in. I'm going to start doing this on a regular basis, and I'm kind of checking out what time might work for people, so that people can get to know me and they can learn more about coaching and how it works. I absolutely love coaching. I love seeing the transformation that happens in people's lives when they're willing to let go a little bit, let go of what their ego might be attached to, and just show a willingness to understand themselves better, understand the people in their lives better, and really move past those obstacles that block you from the goals that you want to achieve in your life. And but the interesting thing about my practice is that it's not like everyone else's. So a lot of coaches, whether you've got a personal trainer working at the gym with you, or you're dealing with a personal coach who is about helping you, let's say, lose weight, or maybe you want to find a new lover, maybe you are wanting to really get past the self-sabotaging thoughts. So all of that is great, and there's a lot of wonderful coaches out there, and they'll get very practical and help you set your goals, help you know the practical steps that you need to take in order to reach that goal. And that's super wonderful, and I will do that with my clients as well. In fact, I'll set up a VIP day in the beginning so that we can really get to know what the heart of the matter is and what it is that you want to work on. But I don't just set a practical plan. I really feel that with anything that we want to either create in our lives or that we want to attain, it takes both the masculine and the feminine energies coming together. So what do I mean by that? So obviously everybody knows when you create a baby, you need that masculine and feminine energy. Masculine, obviously the sperm, and the feminine egg. So, but what do those energies really represent? The masculine energy is going to represent the more linear way of thinking, the more practical, step by step things that need to happen, and that's awesome. They're very, those sperm are just very, very determined to get where they need to go, and that's that masculine energy. It is going to just plow through, and that's really wonderful. But it's really only part of the picture. We really need feminine energy as well. It means that as we're in process, we're listening to both of our intuition. We're tapping into understanding what's arising in the moment. Any artist, when they're working on a painting, and I do artwork, so I really get this, that when you're in that process of creation, not only do you have a plan about where you're going, but you listen to that small voice and that idea that is arising that wants to be addressed. And so let's say you're wanting to lose weight, but there's some other issue beforehand that you really need to address. Maybe like loving yourself more. Maybe that you don't even realize the ways in which you really haven't learned to deeply love and honor yourself. And that needs to be worked with first, and it comes up in small little ways. And as I'm paying attention, as you're paying attention to yourself, these things can arise and we can work with those. And then it just becomes like this domino effect where things are more easily addressed, and you can much more easily get to where you're going. But it's this combination of these energies coming together that really allow for a much deeper level of satisfaction in the end. You're not just going about it rotely or step by step, and not addressing the more intimate and deep things that need to really be addressed. So the coaching I do is intuitive, it's empathic. So what does it mean to be an empath? So most of us are familiar with the word of being empathic with someone else. So, if you're going to be sympathetic, you're understanding their situation. But if you're empathic, you not only understand their situation, but you actually kind of feel their pain. I was born with a unique gift where I can actually tune into someone, and at times I can, if they've got a physical pain, I can feel that physical pain in my own body. I've learned to really have to work with that so that I'm not constantly tuned into the whole world and feeling too much stuff. That's my issue, and that's another whole story. But it is a really wonderful gift, and it does allow me to really connect with my clients on a very special level. And whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, or some other kind of pain, I can be empathic in more than one way. So one way I can be having that energy. Oh my God. I'm like, I signed up for the big leagues. I have come close to dying. I have been through some really major illnesses. I have been through some big diseases. I have been through big heartache. I was in a 20-year-long marriage and got divorced about 6 years ago. I've been through stuff. And so there's ways in which I can relate to a lot of people and just in hardships. But there's also the way that I can relate in just sort of a special way, in that I really can tune into what's going on. So what I was trying to say at the beginning of all this is that I work a little bit differently, in that I'm trying to bring this masculine and feminine energy together. And for a long time in my own life, I've really been working at balancing these two energies out. And it's been an interesting process, and I've learned a great deal. So, like I said, if you have any questions that you want privately addressed, or what I mean is, if you'd like to pose a question and you don't want anyone to know it came from you, of course I'll know, but you can just send me a personal message in my inbox, and I've got my computer right next to me, and I can check that personal message and be happy to address that issue, that obstacle you might be dealing with right now. I drove for Uber for a while, and I had so much fun with it. I would have all kinds of people. So it says I'm still live. I don't know, I had a little disconnection there for a minute. Thank you for still being here. And so what I was saying is that I would have these people from my Uber clients get in the car, and we talk a little bit about who we are and what we do in life, and inevitably it would come up that I'm a coach, and so I'm like, all right, give me your best shot. What's going on for you? And what's like one of the biggest issues or problems you're dealing with in your business, in your personal life, and whatever's going on. And somehow about being in that confined space, people would really open up and they would share, and it was amazing, the beautiful things that would come through for these people. And it was really fun to see the transformation in maybe 10, 20 minutes of them getting in the car. So what I'm trying to tell you is that I can coach on the fly. So I'm happy to address things. I know that this is the first time I'm getting on here, and a lot of you are just like, hey, who are ya? And I want to see you. I see some family and some friends that are on, and I'm just so grateful that you guys are here. And so I'd love some feedback in terms of a time that you guys think would be good, like at noon, or maybe like at 5 p.m. or 6 or 7. so that I can have a regular time where I come online and I'm here to answer people's questions, and I'm not only allowing them to get to know me a bit better, but just getting either some of their questions answered about what coaching is, or the way I particularly do it, and also dealing with, some kind of issue they might have up or going on. So one more time, I'll let people know, because I've seen quite a few more people come online right now, that if they have a question that they like to address, they don't want everybody else to see the question, just go ahead and send it in a personal message. I do write it to me, and I have my master's degree in consciousness and transformational studies, and I did my undergrad work in psychology and art, and I have been coaching people, gosh, for probably close to 15 years, off and on. And I used to have an office in my own home, and then I kind of took my show on the road. I have done a lot more coaching now by phone and by Skype, because I tend to move around a lot, and I'm not sure where I'm going to be next. And I really, really love that I can be kind of all over the world, and meeting different people and enjoying different sights and sounds, and yet still connecting with people. I really, really love watching what people do when they're in. Hi. Not sure again what's happening, but anyhow, what I was trying to tell you is that I just love watching the transformation that people go through when they come in, especially when they come in and they're in a committed long-term, and what I'm talking about is at least 3 months that they're committed to their practice, their coaching. So we'll work one-on-one or in a group, and we'll definitely dive deep into some very fundamental things in the beginning, to looking at what your values are, looking at what it is you really want to create with your life, what it is you feel your purpose is here on this planet. And when we know our why, the reasons why we're doing certain things, then the motivation is just naturally there, and it's amazing. And it's really interesting, because almost doesn't even matter what someone's issue is. Not saying that the issue isn't important. Issues are important. But many times someone will come to me for one issue, and it ends up being that, 5 or 10 of them end up getting solved in the process. So here's an example. There was this woman that I was working with, and all she knew was that she was sad. She's like, I've been wanting a life coach. It was really synchronistic how we met. We were introduced by a friend, and it was just at the timing where she was like, I really need to work with someone. I really need to get some help. But all she knew is that she was getting more addicted to using pot to just sort of zone out. She was not happy in her marriage. She was not happy with her body, and she just felt sad. And we took it a step at a time. We did some, like I said, some very fundamental work at the beginning. I use a law of attraction process, so I'm using a lot of processes from Abraham Hicks, and I will use many processes that I learned either in my coaching program in school or other coaching programs that I've been a part of, that really help us get to really understanding your values and what's important to you. So, but it's a process, and sometimes we may think certain things are our values or our priorities in the beginning, and as time goes on, they shift. So it's a good idea to like hold on to some of the practices that I give you, because you'll want to do them again in 6 months. Other practices are really helpful and handy to have on hand just to address everyday life. So there's something called the peace and release process that I use with people, and really, really good to have on hand to just deal with the sort of everyday challenges that arise. But back to this client that I was working with, she just knew all this stuff was going on, and I was just super patient with her, and we had a commitment to work together for 3 months, once a week, and it was just amazing as she would do the work, really get to know whether something was serving her or whether it was time to let something go. And she, I have to say, she was really courageous, and she knew I was there supporting her. We talked a few times a week. Often I will give my clients lots of support, and so they can check in with me by text or by phone, especially if they're in a crisis, and we'll work through something. Of course, I hold lots of boundaries, and we have to do this in appropriate times, but what I'm trying to say is that it's not just a one and done thing, that I'm going to talk to you once a week and then there's no more support. So anyhow, we kept doing these exercises where she was finding tools to use on an everyday basis to really support her and her choices. And in fact, choices are one of the biggest things to realize, and that was a big one for her, and that she realized she has choices. You know, often we feel that we just don't have any choices, that our back is up against the wall, and you know, it's really not the truth of the matter. So getting to know that you have power, that you can take your power back, is huge. And to know someone's in your corner so that you can do what you need to do, and you can make the tough decisions that you need to make for your own empowerment, for your own best life. So as she did this, one of the first things she let go of was the weed. And that, you know, that I have no judgment around what someone is choosing or not choosing. You know, that it's their choice, and she realized it was just bringing her further down. It was putting her in a hole. And for her, she needed to step away from it for a while. She also was using a lot of sleeping pills. She was just not really wanting to deal. So the first thing is basically she got herself sober. The next thing was that she was not wanting to go outside. She'd gotten agoraphobic, where she really was afraid of just going to the grocery store. Something many of us just take totally for granted. But as she began sobering up, she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna take someone with me and try a little bit. And a little bit at a time, she got herself out there. And the stronger she grew in her own self-esteem and her own self-love through the practices that we were doing, the stronger she felt she was. And going to the store didn't have the same fear for her. And she was able to get past that. And then one day, completely out of the blue, totally stunned me, she came to me and she's like, you know, I think I married the wrong man. I'm like, oh, what? I thought, you know, he's this amazing. She's like, he is. And I knew the day I married him that I wasn't supposed to be in this marriage. He has his own addictions, and I had stopped loving myself, and I didn't really feel that I just, you know, deserved what I wanted, and I settled. And I think that he knows this too, and I think I'm gonna ask him for a divorce. And I was there for her to support her in whatever choices she was making. We explored it quite a bit, and she really sat with it, let's say, for a good month or so, and asked herself a lot of deep questions. I asked her questions. She allowed herself to really get in touch with whether this was for the highest good, and you know, thought about what she was doing. and it was absolutely stunning. She told me, I'm going to call him now, and I'd like you to be on the line, just ready if I need to call you or whatever happens. And I made myself available. We worked it out, and so she is talking with him, and they both decide to call me. She's like, he's completely okay with this. He completely understands. He actually wants to get on the phone and say thank you to me. And I'm like, what? He's like, you know, you helped her to do what we both knew needed to be done. And I couldn't do it, and I can see the huge difference that is happening in her life, all the transformation that's happening, how much happier she is. And really, I do love her, and I want her to be happy, and I'm grateful for you and the work that you guys have done together. And I was just completely blown away. And then he actually helped her through the dissolution, and he made it so that she could live on her own and heal out, and it was just absolutely amazing. And it was maybe only about a month later that she reconnected with an old friend that she used to date, and the next thing I knew, she was in this great relationship. She was super happy. She naturally was losing weight. She didn't actually end up doing anything except for taking better care of herself, and she now was in the relationship of her dreams. She was thinking about the next home she wanted to live in terms of, you know, what really would float her boat in her surroundings, in her environment. And she was really loving herself on a daily basis. She asked for a raise at work and got it. I was just like, this is absolutely stunning. This is just so fun to see how much, you know, loving yourself in baby steps can really build up into something miraculous and beautiful and transformational and exciting. And I want us all to live these rich, amazing lives full of joy and full of great relationships, and it takes work. It takes paying attention. I have my own coach. I definitely have a few different coaches that I work with because they specialize in different things, and it's so important to have that support. And I can support you better because I get the support that I need. So I just want to thank you for being here, and I hope that it's given you a chance to get to know me a bit better, and I look forward to connecting with you guys again, and I look forward to any feedback you might want to give me. Please send a personal message about, you know, times you think would be great for me to meet with people, or things you would love to hear me talk about. I love to give examples. I can give lots of examples of different clients I've had and things they've gone through. Maybe next time I'll talk about a woman who was addicted to cocaine. Last woman I would have ever thought of. She was in her 60s, and I was really surprised, but used some NLP, and we can talk about, you know, how neuro-linguistic programming really worked to help her let go of that habit and bring more love into her own life, more love for herself. And really, that's the bottom line. Whether you're an entrepreneur and you want to grow your business, or whether you are in relationship with someone and you want a better, healthier relationship, it's all really about your own personal development, your own self-love. And I am here to help you take those steps. So my name is Teraysa Guinasso, and I look forward to meeting you again, and I will talk to you soon. Take it easy and find little ways to love yourself today. All right, bye-bye for now.